You're listening to a highlight from One Nation with Dov Lipman on Voice of Israel.
I want to end every show with a word or two about the weekly Torah portion. The Torah portion that we're about to read this coming week is Bechukotai, and it talks in very graphic detail about the Jewish people going into exile. That will be punished. We go into exile. We'll be there for a long period of time, dispersed around the world. And it mentions, and this is in Leviticus 26:32, that when we're in exile, V'hayta ha'aretz lachem shmama, the land is going to remain fallow and desolate until you come back. And then when you come back, God will remember the covenant that he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I came across an amazing piece that was actually written by Mark Twain, of all people. He visited the land of Palestine in the late 19th century, and he saw the complete and total desolation. Here's a little bit of a quote from what he writes. Of all the lands there are for dismal scenery, I think Palestine must be the prince. The hills are barren. They are dull of color. They are unpicturesque in shape. The valleys are unsightly deserts, fringed with a feeble vegetation that has an expression about it of being sorrowful and despondent. Every outline is harsh. Every feature is distinct. There's no perspective. Palestine sits in sackcloth and ashes. Over it broods the spell of a curse that has withered its fields and fettered its energies. Palestine is desolate and unlovely. What a description of what this country was like just a little bit over a century ago. Exactly what the Bible said. V'hayta ha'aretz lachem shmama. It's going to remain desolate. And I want to remind all of you that great conquerors from all around the world wanted this land. They wanted this land because of the trade routes, because militarily it connects Europe, Asia, and Africa. They all came here. They all tried to build here, and they were not successful in building here. It remained desolate, exactly as Mark Twain described it. And then, all of a sudden, as the Bible says, the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob comes into fruition, and a group of refugees running away from pogroms in Russia, from the Holocaust, come to this country. And you look around today, and you see everywhere the trees and the vegetation and how the land is being reflourished. It is nothing short of an inspiration to be able to say that we've seen this process happen. We saw the promise of the Bible come true in terms of the land being desolate, and now we see the promise coming true of the rebirth of the country. And it's really quite remarkable. If you look in the Talmud actually says that the true sign of the redemption of the Jewish people is the reflourishing of the land of Israel. For a few thousand years, I'm sure people saw this and questioned, how can that possibly happen? If the great conquerors who came here couldn't do anything with it, it was marshland, they gave up on it and left, how could we ever return from the four corners of the earth and be able to do so? But we have done so. And that, for me, always reaffirms the truth of our Bible. It reaffirms the truth of the biblical promises of the return of the people of Israel to the land of Israel, and it reaffirms that we are now experiencing the beginning of the redemption process. And that, for me, is a tremendous source of inspiration, which I'll take as I sit in the synagogue this coming Saturday, this coming Shabbat, and hear the reading of that portion and hear about the transformation from desolation to rebirth and the reflourishing of the land.
Voice of Israel, your source for news and views on everything Israel and the Middle East.